high school basketball, ASU men's club hockey, and ASU women's club hockey. Your home for all the action, right here on Inferno TV.
And gentlemen, and a happy Valentine's Day to all of you viewers out there, and welcome to Arizona, and more specifically, the Arizona Compass Hoops Classic here at AZ Compass Prep. I'm Jacob Seaver, happy to be with you here today.
Happy to be here, Jacob. I'm Maddox Martin, and love's in the air. One thing I love basketball, and we've got a great matchup here between Skyline Prep and 5-Star Academy. This should be a really good one.
We were talking about our shared love for sports, and we're happy to share this broadcast with you today on a Friday afternoon. Again, we're looking at a 2:30 tip, so looks like we're going to be jumping right in here very quickly, ladies and gentlemen.
Right on schedule. Now, looking at Skyline Prep, led by head coach Chris Diaz. The player I'm looking out for them, they got a 4-star in Josh Powell, wearing number 1 in white tonight. He's going to be the guy to look out for and the main scorer for the Skyline team.
That's right, and we're hoping to see a close matchup. We saw a matchup beforehand that came out to a much closer end than we anticipated originally. So that being said, we're going to hope for a tight contest here between 5-Star Academy and the Skyline Prep Bengals. Any other points that you think are going to make an impact early or later in this game, Maddox?
Well, 5-Star Academy, led by head coach Jason Van Horn, actually has Jason Van Horn Jr., class of 2025, wearing number 8 here in gray. He's going to be a guy I'd look out for today for 5-Star.
Exactly. Again, I think all of these guys are going to have a chance to make an impact, although we'll see very quickly, again, who they tend to go with in that starting 5. Again, as we wait to bring you those starting lineups here momentarily.
Now, 5-Star Academy is going to be running a very short bench here, only an 8-man rotation for them. It's going to be interesting to see a lot of these guys get minutes and just show us what they got.
Anyways, we take a look for Skyline Prep. Of course, Josh Powell, like you mentioned, out there on the floor along with Amari Oba and then Jeremy Davis. And then in tipping the ball off is John Mashar, class of 2025, a 6'11" listed height on Max Prep. So he's going to be the one to jump it up here for Skyline. And then, of course, on the other end, 5-Star Academy. It looks like Kalen Anderson out there with Jaden Nassar, Channing Cade, and then, of course, Jason Van Horn Jr. And the tip is actually going to be won by 5-Star and Jedediah Wilfred. 5-Star with the first possession. They're going to try to get things going offensively with the three-point ball. And that's no good back rim. An offensive rebound. The ball fought for, and it's going to be brought down by the Bengals.
Well, that's a good look there to start the game. I like to see these kids come out firing with some 3 balls.
It was Kalen Anderson who took the shot. And again, the three-point ball, of course, becoming ever so prevalent in the game of basketball. You got guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, of course, the Splash Bros, really bringing some popularity to the three-point ball as we've got a travel there. And the ball is going to go back the other way with 5-Star. So the first giveaway of the game, and it's going to be Nassar to bring it up the court. Just under a minute into the first period of play here, once again from Compass Prep on Valentine's Day. You mentioned it, love is in the air. The love for the game is in the air, more specifically.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be some good basketball today. All weekend long, got a great tournament here with some very skilled hoopers.
Of course, we'll be with you all day today. We'll be back with you on Sunday. Jason driving inside, he's going to kick it out, and a three-pointer is good out of the hands of Kalen Anderson to open up scoring, and that's a triple from the corner.
Looked like a lost cause there in that possession. Had to get a shot off at the last second. Good shot contest, but a better shot. That gets the scoring going.
The senior able to get things going for 5-Star, but back on the other end, we're going to get a foul, and they're going to say it took place on the floor. Kick outside and a three-pointer on the way is no good from Skyline. That was Jeremy Davis. And a three-pointer on the way out of the hands of Nassar is no good, so they can't extend the lead. They've got a three-point lead early.
And both these teams, they're coming out firing. A lot of three-pointers getting shot off quickly here.
A lot of fast-paced basketball, a drive inside, a layup no good. That time it was Jedidah Wilfred. Three-pointer is right down the arc from, you said it, Josh Powell, who gets things started here for the Bengals.
Josh Powell proving why he is a four-star with a great shot there on the open look. You got to put a hand in that man's face.
So far, a defensive game, only one field goal from both sides, and they were both three-point balls. Here's a drive inside. That was Van Horn Jr. trying to take it up and is going to draw a trip to the charity stripe with 5:39 to go in the first period.
There's a matchup I'm really looking for here. It's between Skyline Prep and 5 Stars big men and Jedidah Wilfred from 5 Star. And then that looks like, and yeah, that's Josh Machar at the 5 spot for Skyline Prep. And those two guys have been going at it all day so far through the quick 2.5 minutes we've been here. Really looking forward to seeing these two kids go out there and face off against each other.
A 4-3 game, so 1 for 2 from the line, and now it's going to be Caden Arnold to dribble up the court. He puts it up, and it's no good, but tipped back in by the big man, John Machar. So we've got a 5-4 score early. And again, one thing I really enjoy about prep basketball is how fast-paced it is. It allows for so much offense, but also even more spectacular plays on defense.
That's exactly right.
5 Star passing it around, finds the shot from Kalen Anderson.
I mean, we were watching the last game. It's a 15-point game with less than a minute to go, and they're both still going full speed down the court and just putting up shots.
And again, back to the conversation that we were having earlier. Again, with the prevalence of the three-point shot, you're seeing a lot more spread out offense, and you're seeing guys cutting to the outside as we see another pass to the corner and another three-pointer from Anderson as he's been on fire from that corner. That's his second made three in 2 possessions for 5 Star, and they've built a 5-point lead.
Well, now Skyline getting a little antsy, it seems, just throwing the ball around. That's a turnover, a costly one here. Already down 5 about halfway through the first period. You got to be smart with the basketball. And the word that everybody uses nowadays, one of the buzzwords about in basketball, spacing. And that's what 5 Star Academy is doing so well. They're spreading out the floor and allowing these open looks. And this team, when they're on, they're on. It's a good three-point shooting team.
Now some substitutions for Skyline as Christian Taylor and Archie Graves both come onto the floor. Trailing by 5, about halfway through this first period. Here's a dump off. And again, Skyline plays good defense. They trail by 5 and want to prevent this lead from getting any bigger for 5 Star Academy.
Yeah, 5 Star looking to really jump ahead and try to jump on them early. Want to demoralize this Skyline Prep team.
And a nice inbounds pass. It was a good look by Jedidah Wilfred, but he's unable to get the basket to drop. Skyline on the other end. Three-pointer from the top of the key out of the hands of Amari Oba is no good. Now coming back the other way is Channing Cade. Cade gonna drive, kicks it over to the corner to Van Horn Jr., who misses the three-point shot, but it wouldn't have counted anyway.
And we've seen these refs are going to be on those travels. They're not letting these kids get away with a lot. And this is what I like to see, a well-officiated basketball game in a very fun tournament with some high-pace, fast-paced, high-action scoring.
Only the 5 points so far for Skyline, off to a bit of a slow start offensively. Just haven't been able to get the shots to drop yet, of course, other than that three-point ball. And here's a drive and a bucket.
It's a really good move there. That was a really nice move from Amari Oba.
Closes the gap to 3 points. 5 Star Can they answer? And the pass is going to be thrown away, and a nice defensive play and a score on the other end by Jeremy Davis for Skyline.
Well, that was just some great basketball. He's quick to the ball, gets the steal, and the easy fast break layup, a nice little 1-2 deceleration, and a nice finish.
And that's as easy as they come when you have a one-on-one fast break and you have the edge. Here's a drive by Nassar, and he's going to put it up no good, but he'll earn a trip to the free throw line. Back to a one-score game, a one-point game at that. And Jaden Nassar will try to shoot some free throws and once again make it a three-point game.
About five or 6 minutes into this game here so far, and we've seen both these teams have the talent to really put up some numbers and put up some points. We've seen some good defense. It's been a lot of hustle, a lot of aggression from both sides, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing here so far.
First free throw bounces out. He's going to have a second coming here. For Jaden Nassar and Five Star Academy, developed a 5-point lead early. Now it's back to a 1-point game.
Five Star Academy with 7 of their 8 players in the class of 25. They have 1 class of 26 in Quajon Long. We have yet to see him in action. We'll see if we get to see some of him later today.
It's going to be Liddell White to bring it up the court, gives it to Amari Oba. Now Oba's going to try to drive to the basket, going to work on Adrian Marcus. But the Bengals will clear the basketball. Drive and the shot out of the hands of Powell is no good. And it looks like it's going to stay with Skyline, as the official signals that it went off the hands of, I believe, Nassar.
Some really good hustle from Skyline Prep to force them to deflect it out of bounds.
They're going to inbound and get it back to Oba at the top of the key. He likes to start from that spot. Gets inside, puts up a jumper, and draws the foul. 2 free ones coming here for Amari Oba. It's first trip to the strike.
I've yet to see Josh Powell get anything going offensively. He's doing his part on defense. He's not letting up any buckets, but looking to see him get going. When he gets on, that's whenever this Skyline team gets hot.
He opened up scoring, did Josh Powell, for Skyline. Again, he's fielding offers from Arizona State, Illinois, Creighton. Reports that Syracuse was also showing some interest earlier this year.
Wow, I mean, he has all of the attention. And this is a great place to really get looked at and get some scouts watching you.
Score is tied at 11, and we're having some technical difficulties. So apologies for that. But in the meantime, it's 13-11 in favor of Skyline.
They called that on the floor a foul. A lot of just very sloppy on that last possession.
A dump underneath and a layup with the left hand is good from Channing Cade, and that will tie this game at 13.
Well, that's a great pass from Jason Van Horn. Just goes up, got the defender up in the air, and has a nice little dump off for the easy lay.
We're approaching the end of the first period. We're within 2 minutes. We're knotted at 13. Here's Powell going to pull up and take a jump shot, and this one bounces off the front rim and out. And Powell opened up scoring this afternoon for the Bengals. He's been quiet since.
And he had to look there, an open shot, just short.
Three-pointer on the way is good from Nassar, and a timeout's going to be taken by Skyline. It's a 16-13 game as Five Star once again goes ahead. They had a 5-point lead, and now they once again reclaim that spot.
Well, that was a great look from Jaden Nassar. Good look from the left key, drills the three. That was a pure shot.
Excuse me, 16-11 your score. Looks like we might have had an error on the scoreboard. But 16-11 in favor of Five Star.
Well, this has been a fun start so far through the first seven or so minutes, and Five Star Academy jumping out to a 5-point lead. And I mean, I wasn't really expecting this. I mean, you see Skyline, you see their 4-star and Josh Powell. You figure if he gets hot later on in this game, we could be having a different conversation.
Absolutely. It's again off to a slow start. Only the 3 points so far for Josh Powell. He's taken a couple shots, and they just haven't been falling.
It's a long game.
Isn't that right? You got 4 quarters, minute 13 left here in the first of 4. But Skyline with some early work. Again, 5-star, coached by head coach Jason Van Horn. With his son Jason out there, he's part of the starting 5 and will stay out there on the floor here.
Man, I mean, I was on my way here and it started raining on me. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know where I was at. It started just pouring down rain for a second. We're in Arizona, and we're talking about rain. I mean, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes, there was some rain in the forecast. Again, a lot of anticipation for that. You could kind of see it coming yesterday. It was a little bit gloomy all day. Didn't really see much sun, which is, again, of course, uncharacteristic for the Valley.
Right.
But, hey, you know what? I'll take it. I was, chilled on my balcony, got some fresh air, and it was nice to not have to worry about the heat. Not that it's the hottest season of the year anyway. We get here on February 14th, again, Valentine's Day, and we're happy to welcome you here to the Arizona Compass Hoops Classic. 5-point lead early here for 5-star, and they have possession of the basketball. That was Channing Cade trying to find Van Horn underneath, threw it away, and the ball's going to go back to Skyline.
Yeah, Cade trying to do just a little too much on that pass there. Had him try to hit looked like it might have been a no-look pass. Would have been a really good look, but just a little bit off target. It'll be a turnover, and it'll give Skyline the ball.
We're going to get our first look at Kejuan Long, as well as Keyshawn Ross Jr., who have both checked into the game for 5-star. 30 seconds to go in this first period. They lead it by 5. Here's Haskell going to get it out to Jeremy Davis, who gives it back to Josh Powell. Powell being guarded closely by Jaden Nassar. Powell drives right hand, short. Still can't find the spot.
Well, now 5-star has a chance to potentially take the last shot. Now you got the open look.
They give it to Long, who fakes the shot and then hands it over to Nassar. No good front rim. 4 seconds left in the period. They're going to try to get something up here. It's Powell. He puts it up and in. A beautiful little finger roll reverse, if you will, and he gets it to go and brings this back to a 3-point score right at the buzzer.
Well, that was a great look from Josh Powell to end the quarter, and that's exactly what you wanted if you're Skyline and if you're Powell. You got to get your scoring back going.
Beautiful end to the quarter. You're going to see it's fun to watch plays like that because it just really shows off the athleticism and the skill and the precision that it takes to play at this level.
That's exactly right. You can look around this arena here, this court. You see we've got all along the walls, we have pictures of players that have went here and moved on to play college hoops. We've even got banners up here in the back corner. Got 5 NBA players. Got all these banners on the left side with all of the different achievements that AZ Compass has won. This is a school that has been dominant in the state of Arizona for years.
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, not only that, again, just Arizona in general. You've seen a lot of good basketball players come out of this region. You've seen a lot of good basketball being played. And, again, it makes it really exciting because basketball in the desert, again, especially with factors like, again, the weather and just honestly just the competitive nature of people in Arizona and high school sports as a whole,
right, and
just the passion that these athletes play with, it really makes for fun competition and it makes for fun tournaments like the Compass Classic here today.
It's a lot of fun and a lot of talent. There's the list of 5-stars and commits that are here in this tournament is really crazy.
So it's going to be Skyline with the basketball. Driving and putting it up with the left hand. No good. The second chance. Initially, that was Christian Taylor. John Mashar couldn't get it to go either, but Mashar will earn a trip to the free throw line as he drew the foul.
They charged the foul on Adrian Marcus, the 5-star big man.
Now Machar looking for the first points for Skyline in the second quarter, and he knocks down the first free throw.
Tight affair through the first quarter. Skyline looking to get back into this and take the lead back.
Machar 2 for 2 from the line. And here comes 5-star, bringing it up with Nassar. Nassar's already got himself a three-pointer on this afternoon. It's going to be underneath now. It's Adrian Marcus who drives and gets wide open and puts it in with 2 hands. A nice little spin move, and they're back in front by a triple.
Looked a little awkward, but it doesn't matter. He got the job done and got the nice finish.
And now on the other end, a nice play by Nehemiah Allen, who's entered the game for Skyline Prep, and the Bengals are back within a point. There's that fast-paced basketball that we're talking about.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
And Ben, when the shooting is on, and these guys are going back and forth up and down the court, just, you know, going point for point pretty much by the second.
Right. It's really
incredibly electric.
Teams can go on runs, and the game could change in a matter of minutes.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Nassar in the corner tries to put one up, and it's off the backboard.
Oh, wow.
But are they going to call a foul? It looks like they did. He's able to draw the foul in the corner.
That's on
3 free throws.
That's a 3-point play, too.
On the way for Nassar.
As the shot clock was winding down, he saw him. He got him up in the air with the pump fake, and that's all she wrote.
The free throw is good. And again, that's how you turn a play that doesn't really look like it's going to amount into a whole lot into some points for your team. And free throw points matter quite a bit.
That's right.
And we can talk about this all you want. You look at final scores of basketball games, you look at missed free throws, you're likely to find that difference.
Right. I mean, the Arizona State game a week or so ago against Kansas State, no, that's not going to count. Yeah,
they're going to call offensive interference.
Yeah,
good hustle nonetheless by Marcus to try to bring 2 points his way. And the score will be 20-17 in favor of 5-star. 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go in this second period.
Right, going back to how critical free throws are. Arizona State was down 1 against Kansas State just last week, down to the last 2 seconds. Jaden Quaintance, the 5-star for the Sun Devils, at the line with a chance to tie it or take the lead. He missed them both, and Arizona State ended up losing. And that's how critical free throws are. At any point, it could really determine a game.
Yeah, I mean, if you miss your free throws and you're not able to recoup those points within those next couple of possessions, that can start to add up. And you don't want to find yourself in any deficits that, again, you could have avoided by simply making some free throws.
Right. I mean, it's in the name. They're free. They're supposed to be a free point.
So it'll be Amari Oba to inbound, and it'll be Nehemiah Allen to bring it up the court, being closely guarded by Keyshawn Ross. 5-star trying to put some pressure on Skyline, but they're able to get it over half court. Now they've got 15 seconds to get a shot up.
A lot of good pressure from 5-star.
On Machar working outside. Oba going to pull up. And it was Machar assisting on that play, and a nice little floater.
That was just nice touch of precision from Amari Oba on that floater.
Got a 1-point game. Ball's over in the corner, and now back at the top with Nassar. Nassar going to step back, pump fake, and draw a foul, as he was able to get Jeremy Davis off his feet.
That foul was going to be charged to John Machar. It's on the off ball. Looked like he got a piece. Looks like he got a piece of Channing Cade, and now he'll come off the court.
They're going to inbound it here to Adrian Marcus. Spin the ball around. And it looks like we're going to get another foul off the basketball. This time it's going to be, I believe, charged to Jedediah Wilfred, who's entered the game. And Skyline brings it up.
You know, these refs are not going to be afraid to use that whistle today, and not even in a negative way. Just they're gonna call the little things here.
Ball's up in the air. Eventually he comes away with it, and John Mashar goes right to the basket with the right hand.
Well, the big man, he's proven that he is still loose, limble, and he can move. He was all over the court on that possession.
21-20 as Skyline claims the lead for the first time. And now the ball is lost as 5-star couldn't get a handle. They were trying to get it underneath to an and one basket. Again, as I was saying, they were trying to get it underneath to Adrian Marcus, and then, of course, the fast break points is going to give Skyline a 3-point lead, 23-20.
Well, Mashar was there on the defensive end, and he led the fast break, started it off with a nice quick pass to get the fast break set up, and a really nice and one layup from Christian Taylor, and a chance to make this a 4-point game.
His first free throw tonight. That one bounces out. So 23-20 the scores in favor of the Bengals. We'll see if 5-star tries to answer. They can tie it with a 3 here. 5 minutes to go in the second period. That will go out of bounds off the hands of John Mashar.
Mashar defensively, another deflection. He's looking great on both ends of the ball today, and that's what you really like to see in a game like this, in a tournament like this. If you can, one good game, there you go again, Mashar.
Mashar, a good defensive play, and that's going to lead to another bucket as it's Christian Taylor picking up the deuce. They go ahead by 5.
I mean, as I was saying about how these tournaments, if you have one good game, you can really propel your career in basketball, and John Mashar is really trying to do that right now.
Van Horn trying to go to work, loses the basketball. It's on the ground. Oba gets a hand on it, and Skyline claims possession.
Caught a kickball there, and now things are starting to fall apart for 5-star. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jason Van Horn call a timeout. Just try to calm his team down. You can't get too far behind against a Skyline team like this that works very quick and can jump on you in the blink of an eye.
Right, you don't want to let them get too much momentum, especially shooting the basketball. That's where it could start to get ugly, especially, again, if they keep up the pace and start hitting some of these three-pointers that they have been a bit off. And another turnover. And Skyline's going to have a chance to extend this to a 7 or an 8-point lead here.
It's just a careless pass from 5-star. You got to be smarter with the basketball against a team like this that'll take advantage of your mistakes.
Here's Amari Oba. Getting it back and now giving it to Josh Powell. Going to go around the screen from Oba. Using the left hand, now goes back to the right. Going against Van Horn, layup short. Offensive rebound, Mashar, and he can't get the second chance points.
It's a good look from Mashar. Nice job getting the offensive rebound and the second chance opportunity. Couldn't finish it, but it's a good look nonetheless.
Here's Nassar, who needs to once again take charge for 5-star to get some momentum back. And here's Van Horn with the three-pointer, no good. Now we're going to get a foul called by the official.
It's going to Wilfred again. He was grabbing onto the shoulder of Nehemia Allen.
It's his second foul tonight, or this afternoon, and now the third against 5-star in this second quarter, of which has 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Now it's Christian Taylor trying to go to work, but a good defensive play by Van Horn is going to have it ripped away from him. Here comes Josh Powell, spins it over. Three-pointer from Nehemiah Allen. No good, front rim.
Yeah, it looked like they could have gotten a foul call when they were on the floor wrestling with the ball.
And now Channing Cade tries to take it up. He's going to get blocked at the rim, but a foul call. He'll get 2 free throws.
I just love the intensity and love the hustle. And while the scoreboard might be a little low right now, in any moment that this scoreboard could just jump up and light up with points going back to back to back to back. Right now, it's a good defensive match. Both teams are fighting. They're very aggressive, very intense.
Looks like they've decided no free throws, so Van Horn will inbound from underneath the basket. Looking for somewhere to go with it. He's just going to dump it off to Cade. Cade fires in the corner. Pass tipped away. They'll keep the ball.
Good job by Allen to get his hand on that one. Force another inbound play.
Jeremy Davis going to re-enter as Oba goes out.
Some great minutes from Amari Oba. He was phenomenal.
And Horn going to kick it in, put it up. No good. And now these second chance points are good from Jedidah Wilfred.
Great look from Wilfred there in the paint. He's just a big body, and he's able to get his own miss and put it back in.
That was the one that 5-star was looking for. They now trail only by 3. Christian Taylor to the basket, no good. Offensive rebound's going to end up in the hands of Jeremy Davis.
Right guy, right place for Jeremy Davis. And a nice little touch at the rim. They're going to get a carry. Oh, wow.
5-star loses the basketball once again.
You don't see that get called a lot in the modern day of basketball. The carry.
You really don't.
The NBA kind of have let people get away with it. So the kids grow up, they watch the NBA, they watch all these professionals and all their icons, and they carry every time they have the ball. They think they can get away with it. But at the younger age, at high school, they're gonna get you for it.
Here's Christian Taylor is going to get rejected at the rim. I'm not sure if it was Anderson or Wilfred who actually got his hand on it. I think it might have been Anderson.
Good defense from 5-star. They still trail 5.
Now here's Nassar, drives, uses the glass and puts it off softly for 2.
It's a way to fight through the contact there from Nassar and finish at the rim. Put it in.
Back to 3. 2-minute warning here in the second quarter of play. Top of the key three-pointer from Powell is no good, but the jam from Davis.
Oh my goodness.
He came flying in and used the right hand to flush it right through.
Oh my, that's our first real highlight reel of the day so far, and I'm sure we're going to get many more as this day goes on.
Does 5-star have an answer? Apparently not, as we're going to get an offensive foul called, the 3rd of the game against Wilfred, and he's going to look at the ref in confusion.
So
I didn't quite see the play.
They got him for a illegal screen, and he just left. He leaned in with his shoulder as the defender was coming by. They're going to get you for that every day, and he's already playing with 3 fouls in the first half. They got to be careful. With an 8-man bench, you don't have the luxury of getting in foul trouble this early.
Powell throws it right into the hands of Channing Cade, who's going to try to go coast to coast. Layup's no good, and a foul once again called against Wilfred. He's now got 4.
Man, they got to get him out of there, and that's what they're going to do. And I'm seeing a lot of contact that's not getting called when 5-star's going to the basket, but it seems like they're getting called for a lot of their fouls.
So Wilfred deactivated for the moment.
Yeah, we're probably not going to see him again until the 4th quarter.
As Van Horn decides to go with Adrian Marcus.
Got him into the bonus, too. They get a chance to really extend this lead.
Already by 5, 29-24. And there's a minute remaining here in the second quarter. Not the play you wanted to see. Again, you need that presence in the paint.
Right. I mean, you do have some talented big men. Adrian Marcus is going to be there. This team's got a lot of height. It's just the presence that Wilfred has. You saw him on that offensive possession getting the putback after getting his own miss.
Jedidah Wilfred moved around. He went to Etowando High School in Rancho, California. Also attended Damien High School. Of course, now represents 5-Star Academy here. 30-24 the score, 1:08 to go officially in the first half of play. And thank you for joining us here in Chandler at the Arizona Compass Hoops Classic. Now Van Horn wants a word here with his big man, Adrian Marcus.
Officials had met at the scores table. Not sure what they were discussing. Looks like they got everything on track, and we're back ready to go.
Here's Nassar. Nassar guarded closely by Nehemiah Allen, looking for somewhere to go. Gives it to Van Horn as the clock's winding down. 15 on the shot clock. Under a minute to go now in the half.
It's a great look, just can't get it to fall.
And they've been getting high percentage looks, but the shots have just not really been falling on either side. I take my words back. Amari Oba drains a three-pointer, and that's going to make it a 9-point game as Skyline has built a bit of a lead here going into halftime.
Well, that was big. You got the 2-for-1 as well. You're going to get a chance to take the last shot most likely. And that's the thing that everybody in basketball, that's the thing people talk about nowadays is the 2-for-1. When you get the ball with about 50 seconds to go in the quarter, you can take a quick shot and give your chance another look at the end of the quarter.
6-second difference between shot and game clock. And that one's no good out of the hands of Channing Cade. We'll see if they keep the basketball. I think that one's going to stay with 5-star, and they're going to get a fresh 14. So the shot clock has been turned off with 14 seconds to go.
Oh, man.
And it's going to be thrown away by Channing Cade. They got it into him. A little bit of miscommunication there.
It's just the careless mistakes that's gotten to 5-star in the second quarter as they've started to fall behind. And, I mean, you could see this momentum really swing Skyline's way if they can get a bucket here at the end of the buzzer.
They're going to try to extend their lead to double digits right at the buzzer.
Wow.
And the drive in the basket is good from Nehemiah Allen to make it an 11-point lead for Skyline Prep. Again, they added 6 points to their lead in the last 2 minutes of play in halftime as we are going to head into the third quarter of play. But before that, we'll take a break. Again, I want to ask you, Maddox, what did you see in that first half of play that allowed Skyline to take advantage? Of course, 5-star had that early lead. It looked like they were going to try to get some momentum going, but never really got it. What is the reason for that?
Well, like we were saying earlier, with the way these two teams play and the intensity they play at any moment, this game could turn into a bloodbath with so many points scored at a time. We saw it was, you blink and you miss it, it's 35-24. They were just down by 5. Skyline does a great job of taking advantage of mistakes. 5-star was pretty mistake-free in the first quarter, but as that second quarter came along, they started making a couple turnovers, just careless passes. It's just not smart basketball, and that's what's going to get you. And Skyline took advantage. They lead 11 as we go to the third quarter.
And we will see if Jason Van Horn can pump some energy into his squad. They'll come out in about 7 minutes, and we will be back with you shortly. Again, thanks for tuning in here on Inferno TV from the AZ Compass Hoops Classic. We will be right back. Here we are, second half of the first game today, brought to you by Inferno TV. Again, of course, we walked in on some action, and we're here to bring you action for the rest of this Friday here from the AZ Compass Hoops Classic at AZ Compass Prep.
Yeah, we've got a good game so far, an 11-point ball game. We saw Skyline Prep start to pull away at the end of that second quarter after trailing by 5. Five-star, they were hot in the first quarter. They played some good basketball. Second quarter, different story. We saw some turnovers, missed a lot of shots, wasn't able to really do much, and Skyline took advantage, and they've started to pull away.
Yep, we saw Five-star score 10 of this game's first 15 points. Since then, it's been mostly Skyline. Again, they've done a nice job managing damage control in this game, and then, of course, now they sit here with a 11-point lead. So Five-star has got some work to do, and they're going to have to do that without Chidida Wilfred, at least for now. Of course, he's got 4 fouls already in this contest, and so you've got to be careful with that. And they're going to have to work with Adrian Marcus down low in the meantime.
Well, you look at the difference between these two teams. You see Skyline, they have 12 men on their bench. They have four coaches, 3 assistant coaches, and Five-star's got an 8-man rotation and only 1 coach here. These two teams are very different, and it's very impressive to see Five-star staying in this ball game.
Good ball movement as they get it to Keyshawn Ross, who hits the 3-pointer.
The bank is open, Keyshawn Ross says. He drills a nice 3, cuts it to an 8-point ball game.
Indeed it is on a Friday afternoon, and that's a great way to come out of the locker room. See if Skyline can answer with a 3 of their own. Jeremy Davis gives it over to John Mashar. Mashar over to Oba. Oba's going to kick it to the corner. Powell's going to pull the trigger. No good.
Still just waiting for Josh Powell to get on. He's been, after that first bucket of the night, he's just been missing. Haven't been able to hit much shots.
And Horn's going to pull from the corner, and he knocks it down. 6 straight out of the gate for Five-Star Academy, and they brought it right back to 5.
Oh, this is exactly what we were talking about, how quick these teams are. They can get back on you in a hurry. That 11-point lead, we knew that wasn't going to hold.
I wouldn't be surprised to see another shot go up here.
Wow.
And this time it's Jeremy Davis. Unfortunately, he took too many steps. Here comes Nassar back in the game. Out goes Adrian Marcus.
Well, now that's a big mistake there from Skyline. If Five-star gets a 3 here, or gets a shot off, I mean, this is a completely different ball game we've got here.
Trying to make it a 1-possession game. Van Horn back over to Kalen Anderson. Anderson over to Channing Cade. Cade with the left hand attacks and throws it off of the hands of Jeremy Davis. They'll keep it with 20 on the shot clock.
Some good defense there from Skyline.
14, that is.
Oh, they got the shot clock moved. There you go.
Six and a half to go here in quarter number 3. Of course, Skyline trying to close this gap even further. Van Horn.
Had to get it in. Good job to get it all the way back there near the half-court line.
Goes to one of his number 1 options. Nassar, pull up 3, no good front rim. Oba pulls it down and is going to run the floor.
You can hear Jason Van Horn telling him not to settle. Don't settle for that shot there. He had a better shot.
Here comes Keyshawn Ross, and it's swatted away by Jeremy Davis.
Get that out of here, Davis says. Rised up into the air and swatted that thing into the crowd.
Aggressive defense to stop the fast break. Keeps it a 5-point game. This time they go into Kalen Anderson. Now it's Channing Cade trying to go to work here on John Mashar, and he goes up with the right hand.
Nice little hook almost there. It was a nice bucket down low in the paint, and Five-star's going to need more of that. They haven't been able to score the paint that much today.
And now it's going to be Amari Oba to go to the free throw line.
Amari Oba's really been the star today for Skyline Prep. He's been phenomenal to this point. You're just waiting to see when are they going to get Josh Powell going, because when he gets on, this team is unstoppable.
Looks like I was once again mistaken. They'll go ahead and inbound. And they go underneath to Powell. Powell with the second chance after he grabs his own miss.
There you go. You could feel a bit of a sigh of relief for Josh Powell after that make there. And now maybe they broke the floodgates open.
Channing Cade outside. Nassar thought about taking the three-point jumper, instead gives it away to his teammate Kalen Anderson. Now it's with Van Horn, and we've got a timeout and an injury on the floor.
It looks like Mashar looks like he just got hit in the face there.
Might have taken a hand or an elbow to the face.
Not totally sure what happened. Wasn't paying attention down low.
I mean, they'll take a look at him with 5.5 to go here in the third.
Hopefully he's all right. I mean, it's a big key to this Skyline team has been Mashar. And it looks like he's able to walk it off. Might have gotten poked in the eye or something. Not totally sure.
Again, given that 5-star is a bit handicapped right now as far as big men, and again, most of these guys around the same height. It's not like you've got one guy who's towering over the rest, but of course, Wilfred did come up with a couple crucial rebounds earlier in this contest and now sits on the bench with those 4 fouls.
Yeah, he's in foul trouble. You feel like once he gets back on the court, they're going to go at him and attack him, and I won't blame him. He's been pretty handsy with these fouls. He's just been, it's not even all on, it's off-ball fouls too that's been the problem.
Nassar tries to get it to Anderson, stolen by by Jeremy Davis. But he loses the ball in transition, and it comes back to 5-Star Academy.
Just a little careless there in transition. Looked like he might have had a chance for the fast break lay, but a good job from 5-Star to poke that ball away.
Powell steps up on defense against Nassar, who's going to pull the trigger from the top of the key and drains it to make it a 2-point game.
That one was from NBA range, and you can't let him get that shot off right there. That was just not smart.
And the answer on the other end from Jeremy Davis.
Going blow for blow here. Back-to-back three-pointers. This has been a fun second half to this point.
40-35. We've seen both sides ramp up the scoring, and we've got a close contest.
Oh, wow.
What a play there defensively by number 23. That's London Haskell, class of 2026, to get in there and make the defensive play for Skyline. And not only that, I believe an offensive foul was called.
Yeah, they got him for an offensive foul. When he went up, he pushed him down to the ground, it looked like, with his left hand.
So here's Caden Arnold. Gonna drive against Van Horn. Left-handed lay is good, and it's 42-35. The lead's back to 7 for Skyline. It was just a 2-point game moments ago, and now all of a sudden, things looking like they're going back in the Bengals' favor.
And this is Skyline knows that 5-Stars tends to be a little bit reckless. They're gonna try and trap him and force a turnover.
And they dump it underneath. That was Adrian Marcus on his way to the basket. He's going to draw the foul. Foul, I believe, was going to be charged to Caden Arnold, his first foul. And that was the first of the quarter so far against the Bengals.
Critical things like free throws, so important in basketball. It's in the name. You got to hit them.
0 for 2 this time from the line is Marcus. And here comes Skyline. It'll be Arnold to bring it up. 42-35 your score and 4:17 remaining in the third period.
There you go.
Steal by Marcus and all alone for the jam. That's the type of defensive play that 5-Star needed to get things going back in their favor a little bit. I mean, 5's a lot different than 9.
That's exactly right. It's a big swing there on that turnover.
Oba takes the pass from Caden Arnold. The second chance is good.
Wow.
By London Haskell, who stayed with the play and is able to get the N1 bucket.
And that's going to be another foul on Adrian Marcus. He's been, this whole 5-Star team, you only have 8 players. You can't be getting into foul trouble, and I believe that's 3 on Marcus, if I'm not mistaken.
And we haven't seen a ton of Keyshawn Ross, although he did hit a critical three-pointer earlier in this game that helped close the lead earlier in this half. We'll see if he gets back in there soon for 5-Star. It looks like Van Horn's going to call his name.
And this is where Five-Star cannot let this 8-point lead get away. You've got to have a good possession here. You got to walk away with a bucket on this possession right here.
Well, inbound to Nassar. Taylor, who's back in the game for Skyline, putting some full court pressure on Jaden. Jaden with the right hand. Now gets stuck up and gets it back out to Jason Van Horn. Spinning in the lane, puts it up with the right hand. No good. Off the front iron. They'll keep possession here.
Good job there from the Skyline defense in the paint, not allowing an easy shot. They've been so dominant, stifling a lot of open looks in the paint.
There's a jumper by Kalen Anderson. He created some space for himself. Not a bad look. And the layup no good from Taylor on the other end. Not a friendly bounce. And the conversion by Channing Cade. He's going to cut this back to a 6-point game. Skyline not easing up on offense here, though. They're going to keep it going right back down the court.
It's hard to jump in here and add on any thoughts with how quick both these teams are playing. It's just back and forth, left and right. We're getting scores.
Again, prep basketball brings for some high-tempo offense.
That's right. And how often do you see in public school, high school basketball, how often do you see a full court press just consistently? You don't really see it much. You get it when the game's on the line in the fourth quarter or the team's down and they need to stop. But just the constant pressure, these guys are so well trained.
There's a steal for Channing Cade. He's going to take it down himself, and he lays it up. And he draws the foul and a trip to the line to add the 3rd point.
That's a big one there, and they can cut this down to a 1-possession game after being down 11 going into the 3rd quarter and then falling down by 9 just a couple moments ago. Just relentless and no quit in this Five-Star team.
Okay, it's been back and forth as we see Nuruddin Nuri enter the game for Skyline Prep for the first time on this Friday afternoon. It'll stay a 2-possession game.
What a poke from behind there by Jaden Nassar, and that just reminds me of Dyson Daniels watching the Hawks. We were talking about Atlanta basketball. We're both from the city. There's get shades of it right there on that play.
And I'll take a minute to give a shout out to Dyson Daniels. I mean, the numbers that he's been able to put up defensively for Atlanta is exactly the kind of hustle that, again, you see a lot at this level of play. Here's Archie Graves, who's also in the game, is going to give it over to Christian Taylor. Taylor with the 2nd on the shot clock. Hoists it up. It won't go. And that means Five-Star is going to take over. We're approaching the 2-minute mark here in quarter number 3.
Huge stop there from Five-Star. They have the ball down 4, 2 to go in the 3rd. This is a great, great chance to make something happen.
Jaden gives it to Jason Van Horn. Now Van Horn has it. He's going to drive against the newly entered Nuruddin Nuri, and now it's back outside in the hands of Channing Cade. Can't get the layup to go, but an offensive rebound. And eventually, Keyshawn Ross able to draw the trip to the line.
Great hustle from Keyshawn Ross there, getting to that loose ball on the rebound, fighting for it, and putting that shot up, drawing the contact, and he'll take it to the line for 2. Just some great basketball right here.
That one's in and out.
Got to take advantage of these free throws, though.
And if I had to guess, I'd say both sides shooting at about 50% from the line. Not the greatest performance from either side at the line.
Yeah, it can come back to bite you. That's the one thing I'll say.
Ross will get a 2nd free throw. Still can cut it to a 1-possession game with a make here. And he does, right down the middle. 45-42 is the score. Here comes Archie Graves, bringing it up at the point, being guarded by Jaden Nassar. Graves trying to find somewhere to go with it, and they're trying to draw something up. Oba's going to cut, step-back jumper, and that one's going to drop.
That is such a good look from Amari Oba. Cuts in and has a nice little fadeaway. That was beautiful. Get it back to 5.
That was a soft touch, and He put some nice spin on that basketball, allowing him to get the friendly bounce and extend it to a 5-point lead. Here's Keyshawn Ross from the corner, back to a 2-point game. And a timeout is going to be called. 1 minute and 3 seconds to go in period number 3. And once again, 5-Star Academy is not going anywhere.
Keyshawn Ross, that man has been hot in this third quarter. Just the way he's playing, I am here for it. The aggressiveness, the intensity, and that was not a really open look. He had a hand in his face, no pressure, drilled the 3 to cut it to 2.
He's come up with some very important baskets for 5-Star Academy to keep them close. That one probably the tip of the iceberg for Keyshawn Ross. 47-45 is your score as both teams finish their timeout meetings. And I think at the end of the day, this game is going to come down to who can shoot that three-point ball better. We've seen both sides give it a shot all afternoon. And at the end of the day, I mean, I think that's why we saw 5-Star go down, is that Skyline kind of found that groove a little bit with those jump shots. And once that started to happen and 5-Star wasn't able to keep up, they saw that lead disappear and eventually turn into a lead for Skyline. But now both teams kind of hitting their stride, and we're seeing a much more even game here down the stretch.
That's right. It's just whose team can shoot it better from beyond the arc. That's been the story. And I'm surprised Skyline hasn't really been able to do much in the paint with Jedediah Wilford off the court since the second quarter. He hasn't played at all in this third quarter so far. He's not on the court now, and they still haven't been able to do much inside. Wow.
Inbound to kick things off. A minute left here in the third. Archie Graves not going to use the screen set by Christian Taylor. Now Taylor's going to step up and take it to the hole against Van Horn. Gets it back outside to Josh Powell. And I believe they're going to call a foul on somebody.
Yeah, they are going to get the offensive foul. The official wasn't signaling it on the one on the call, didn't signal it. It was the one further back that made the call. It looks like he fully extended there. And
it looks like Jaden Nassar's a little bit hurt down there. He's gripping that arm.
Yeah, he might have just landed awkwardly on that arm. It's not a good look to see.
He's trying to stretch it out and just feel it out. Looks like he's going to be all right as he dribbles it up the court. Good news for 5-Star.
Yeah, 2 players in foul trouble and a guy who's struggling with his arm, it looks like. That's just not good at all for 5-Star.
Anyway, they hang in here, only trailing by 2 points. Can tie it here with a bucket. Take the lead with a 3. Van Horn lets it fly. Bingo! They take the lead by 1 with 23 seconds left in quarter number 3. That's the shot that he was looking for on that possession.
That's a huge shot from Jason Van Horn Jr. And now you get the ball back on a little turnover. Went out of bounds.
Good defense over there. I think that was a combination of Jaden Nassar and Kalen Anderson to force the turnover. And once again, 5-Star will bring the court up. Again, they've developed their first lead since the first quarter in this game.
You talk about how big momentum is. If you can get a shot here at the buzzer.
It's going to be Nassar to put it up and knock it through. Jaden Nassar comes up big time to give 5-Star the 3-point lead with a fresh 8 headed into the fourth quarter of play. What a shot.
Wow, that was a great way to finish the third quarter for 5-Star. Coming into the half, they were down 11 and they lead by 3. What a run. It was a 13 to 26 run. They went on a 26-13 run to take a 3-point lead. What a way to finish that.
A textbook play there at the end to beat the buzzer by Jaden Nassar, driving into the lane, getting an inch or two of space and using that space to put it right through. And all smiles over there in the huddle as Coach James Van Horn addresses his squad. On the other end, Chris Diaz going to try to pump some energy into his boys as the Bengals trail by 3. And again, I think it's still safe to say that Skyline Prep, for the most part in this game, has been in control.
Yeah, they have.
I think they've been shooting better, and I think overall you can just look at them to say that they're going to take the lead here in the fourth if Skyline doesn't have an answer. Or excuse me, if 5-Star doesn't have an answer.
That's right. And if 5-Star starts making mistakes again, then that's where Skyline can really take advantage and jump ahead. The problem for 5-Star, they've got Jedediah Wilford and Adrian Marcus in foul trouble. They've got to be careful, or else you've got Quajon Long, who's a class of 26, the youngest kid here on this team, who's very inexperienced at this level. They're in a little bit of trouble, but just got to play smart basketball for these final 8 minutes.
Can you talk about difference makers? It's really been a team effort on both sides. I look at names like Christian Taylor. I look at Jason Van Horn. I look at Jaden Nassar. I look at Keyshawn Ross, really up and down both lineups. You can see difference makers and think back to plays that have changed the trajectory of this game. But neither side has really folded under that pressure, and we've got a close game.
That's right. I mean, Keyshawn Ross, what a third quarter for him. He was shooting that ball like it was Cupid's arrow.
Love that analogy. This one's no good by Jeremy Davis. And Keyshawn Ross pulls down the rebound for 5-Star. They're going to try to extend that lead here. Here's Channing Cade. He drives, gets around Mashar.
Oh, man.
But can't get it to fall. He had a great look, and it goes around the rim and out.
He must have did something to make the basketball gods mad with that one. That one, surefire, looked like it was going to fall.
Here's Nehemiah Allen. Gives it over to Christian Taylor. Here's Powell. The step back, puts it on the floor and puts it right up and in.
That's the 4-star Josh Powell we all know and love. That was the shot that he needs to be hitting more consistently today.
Van Horn being guarded out there by Nehemiah Allen. Now 5-Star moves it around. It's going to be Cade against John Mashar. Van Horn back at the top of the key. Goes around the screen from Anderson. Gets it back outside. Three-pointer. Back rim. Jeremy Davis is going to feed it down. 2 passes and 2 more points on the board for Josh Powell.
Wow. I mean, right there, that was John Mashar. He whipped that ball in there like he was a pitcher throwing a fastball. He slung it in there, and Powell puts it up and in.
A little bit of sidearm action. Powell received it and made the nice transition. Van Horn loses his defender, but decides to give it back to Nassar. Nassar going to try to go to work on John Mashar. Puts it up with the left hand. No good. A good defensive play by John in the paint.
And Mashar got his hand on it.
Powell takes the 3, and he knocks it down, and we've got another momentum change. 54-50 in favor of Skyline.
Yeah, it seems like your prediction of how the fourth quarter was going to go has been right so far, and this is exactly what Skyline is doing. They're taking control.
They've scored the last 7 points, but now Channing Cade's going to put an end to the run.
Oh, man.
And a mistake going to be made by Skyline as they went to throw it in, and nobody was there to receive it. So a gift given to 5-Star Academy.
You can't do that there if you're Skyline. You just had a 4-point lead. You let them go down there and put the basket up okay, and then you immediately turn it over. And head coach Chris Diaz has to burn a timeout right here to try and settle this team down.
With 5:46, and we're in the fourth quarter, so plays like that are going to matter even more. And again, it has been tough to stop this red-hot 5-Star Academy team. They trail by 2, and they're going to need to come out shooting the basketball here. But of course, you can't make mistakes like that if you're Skyline Prep.
That's right. This 5-Star team has been scrappy all day long. 5 minutes and 46 seconds separate us from a winner and a loser. Just 2 points between these two teams.
By the way, I have to mention before this break is over, go get your hot dogs. Go get your pizza. Go get your food.
Man.
Concessions are live here at AZ Campus
I
Prep.
really was thinking about it at halftime. I just got the water. I can't believe they charged me for it. Last time I was here, they didn't charge me for anything, but I got charged $1 for this.
Hey, you know what? It was ice cold, wasn't it?
It is ice cold. It still is ice cold. At least it's not like I'm at Truist Park or at any stadium where it costs $6 for a bottle of Dasani.
$6 for water, and don't even ask me how much a beer costs.
Oh.
54-52. but Five Star with possession of the basketball. They get it in here. Channing Cade. That one's going to be kicked away, but a foul called on Taylor.
Yeah, he grabbed on him there, and now just it'll send him off to the bench. Just not smart basketball there. You had a chance to come away with a turnover on that pass on the inbound, wasn't able to, and then you grab him. That's just, you're giving up a foul there. You don't want to give Five Star any chance. That's the whole point.
Van Horn inbounds to Jaden Nassar, who's going to work on Jeremy Davis. They get it into the corner. Three-pointer, it's short from Anderson. Rebound pulled down by Powell, who's going to run the floor. Powell is going to go to the basket, now gives it outside to John Mashar, puts up a jump shot, no good. Offensive rebound underneath by Powell. Powell finds some space, can't get it to drop. Couldn't extend the lead on that possession, and once again, here comes Five Star Academy. They get it underneath, and the layup is good by Jedediah Wilfred, who's come back into the game. Again, we saw him go out before halftime with his 4 fouls, and now he has a critical bucket to tie this game up at 54.
I think Wilfred expected a foul, and they just got a tech. They just gave a technical. They just gave a technical to Skyline. Wow.
So a technical foul has been issued to Skyline.
This is, you can't do that if you're Chris Diaz. If you can't give them any more opportunity. And as I was saying, when Wilfred had that bucket, he looked like he led with the shoulder and knocked the defender to the ground. He stopped for a second, waiting for a foul to be called, whether it would be a charge or a blocking foul, either way. But no foul, no whistle was ever blown. And then he finally put it up a couple seconds later.
Van Horn 1 of 2 on the technicals, so it's 55-54.
Now you get the ball too. You cannot do that if you're head coach Chris Diaz.
Lead is in the hands of Five Star Academy, and they're going to try to add a couple points to that here. Nassar gives it over to Cade. Channing Cade back to Jaden. And a whistle and another turnover here, as it looks like he might have stepped on that line.
Yeah, just careless basketball. You can't be you cannot be making these mistakes at this point of the ball game from either side. And sooner or later, one of these teams is going to pull away and take advantage if they keep playing like this.
Under 5 minutes to go. The drive, kick out to Oba. Now they go across the court to Jeremy Davis. Davis is going to throw it into the corner, into the hands of Nehemiah Allen. Step back jumper, no good. Davis came in and tried to jam it home with a putback, but was only able to make contact with the rim. And now we're going to get a foul called here against Mashar. In a one-point game.
Looks like they just got him on a little hand check there as Cade was driving by, and now a timeout is called. 4:14 to go in a one-point game. Man, this has been a fun one.
This is definitely the competitive matchup we asked for. Again, I was under the impression at points in this game that it was going to be Skyline that was going to start to kind of take control, especially with that 11-point halftime lead.
Right.
But then, of course, Five Star 6 straight points right out of the gate, out of that halftime break. Completely changed everything, and we sit here with 4 minutes to go and a very highly contested matchup here.
Well, we saw Skyline take that 4-point lead midway through this quarter. I think Jacob, me and you were both on the same page that they were about to pull away with it. Then they let up the quick layup, and then that inbound pass that sailed out of bounds. That's brutal. Then a technical foul you get. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so easy to kind of lose control of a game when one team is shooting at a high rate. It can be difficult on defense to make a stop, and it can be difficult on the other end to try to keep up with that level of scoring.
Right.
But again, so far, neither team has folded under any type of pressure, despite both seeing runs from the other side. So it looks like out there for Five Star, they're going to go with Jedediah Wilfred along with Kalen Anderson, Channing Cade, Jaden Nassar, and then, of course, Jason Van Horn. It's going to be Jeremy Davis, Josh Powell, Christian Taylor, Nehemiah Allen, and then, of course, the ever-trusty Amari Oba on the floor for the Bengals. Van Horn dumps it underneath Wilfred. Wilfred trying to go to work against Josh Powell. He's going to give it up. That pass was stolen. Here comes Jeremy Davis, the Euro step, and the deuce off the glass.
That was off the top of the glass. That might have been above the box up there. He got that way up in the air. And just another turnover from 5-star. You cannot be making these.
Soft touch for Davis. They go back to Wilfred, and the rejection by Davis. Davis making plays on all fronts. And now the ball going to be in the hand of Skyline as they have the lead and possession, 56-55.
They're trying to post up with Wilfred. He's a big guy in the paint, but this Skyline team is very athletic. They're going to get that block 9 times out of 10.
I mean, the vertical from Jeremy Davis, very evident on that last play as Skyline attacks the basket and picks up the foul. This time it was Jason Van Horn in on the contact, and that's going to send Nehemiah Allen to the free throw line.
It's not the worst foul there. Make him earn it at the free throw line instead of giving him the open look on the layup, and that's why right there misses the first one.
Again, both teams have been a bit shaky from the line. Those have been anything but free points.
I mean, if I'm 5-star, I'm just going back to what's worked. The 3-ball has worked today, and I understand it's not the easiest shot to make in basketball, but
Allen goes 0 for 2. Wilfred comes up with the basketball and clears it down to Kalen Anderson.
I mean, this team hasn't been able to do much in the paint at all today.
Sar over to Van Horn, being guarded by Powell. Now they're going to try Wilfred inside the half circle. And it's going to get away, and last tip that time by Christian Taylor. So it stays with 5-star. They trail by a single point.
I'm not normally a guy to say just keep pulling it up from 3. I like basketball when it's won with some nice plays and getting in the paint, but it's not working. This Skyline team is uber athletic, and they have been able to reject every pass that's been trying to get into the post.
Got a hand on that one, but it stays with Cade, who turns, goes up with it, and not enough on it. Rebound Skyline. Here they come. Jeremy Davis. Over to Josh Powell. Thought about the shot, but in the process ended up traveling with the basketball.
Yeah, it's just not been Josh Powell's game today, and it happens. You don't like seeing it in a tournament of this stature, but it's going to happen to the best of us.
It really does. And you're moving so quick, it can be easy to take too many steps. Here's Wilfred. Underneath Jaden Nassar. 5-star could use a bucket here with under 3 minutes to go in the game. Nassar drives. Throws it to the corner, almost threw it away. Anderson came away with it and hits the fadeaway jumper from the corner. Kaylin Anderson with a beautiful shot to reclaim the lead. It's a 2-point game. And then Jeremy Davis, as he has all afternoon, coming up with the answer for the impossible, and we're knotted at 58. What a sequence.
I mean, going back to that Kalen Anderson 3-pointer, he was in the corner falling away. I don't know how he had the angle to get that shot off.
And now 5-star loses it. No foul was called, and the jam on the other end by Nehemiah Allen.
I didn't know that kid could get up there for that one. He got up there for that. That was no
slammed it down with some level of authority. Used the right hand. Jason Van Horn was sitting on the ground on the other end of the court. Anderson from the corner again. He buries it. Back-to-back triples out of the hands of Kalen Anderson.
I mean,
he's got a beautiful touch right now.
He's got the dead eye from that corner over there. That's his spot.
It's a 1-point lead after that triple. Christian Taylor has it knocked away. Is he going to lose it? No. Oba comes up with it, but now it ends up in the hands of Van Horn. Here comes Anderson. He goes up with it and draws the foul. Amari Oba came in flying behind him and swatted it away, but not before the foul was called. That'll be, I believe, some free throws on the way here.
Well, for a big tournament like this, it's only fitting that our first game of the day here at Inferno TV is going to come down to the final minute and 24 seconds in a 1-point game.
I know that's right. 61-60 your score.
Friendly bounce from the rim there.
And now he's going to try to make it a 3-point game as Anderson. He has been crucial for 5-star down the stretch, and he drains it. And so now a timeout's going to be called by Coach Diaz. 3-point lead for 5-star Academy. And again, a very back and forth affair that right now it's all Kalen Anderson.
Kalen Anderson, it was Keyshawn Ross in the third quarter. It's been Kalen Anderson in crunch time when it matters most here in the fourth. And he has been on fire in that corner.
As hot as Anderson has been, you just cannot forget about Jeremy Davis on that other end. I mean, Jeremy Davis, again, shooting guard, stands at 6'5", definitely not the tallest player on the court, but boy, has he gotten up there for some blocks this afternoon. Again, made an impact on January 31st when Skyline faced off against Minnesota Prep Academy for 21 points and 54% from the floor. He's definitely put up some numbers here in Arizona.
I mean, this is it right here. Both teams will have timeouts left. This is going to be a really, really interesting final minute and a half, pretty much. You don't need to have a three here for Skyline. They haven't really attempted a lot of threes. Their game has been getting into the paint and drawing contact and putting up some shots and taking it to the free throw line. That's what we've seen a lot from Skyline Prep today.
So it's Davis, Taylor, Oba, Allen, and then, of course, Josh Powell. The 5 out here in this final minute and a half for Skyline. Van Horn, Cade, Anderson, Wilfred, and Nassar, the 5-4 5-star Academy. Here we go with Allen to drive against Van Horn. He's going to have it at the top of the key. Now he bounces it underneath. Fadeaway jump shot, Jeremy Davis. Once again, what a shot.
That's all I can say. Just what a shot from Jeremy Davis.
Stole the words from you. Nothing really much else to say there, as now here comes 5-star. Trailing by a point now, but it's going to go out of bounds off the hands of Channing Cade. 48 seconds left, and things are getting interesting.
Loving the intensity. They're going to get a foul call before the pass went in.
They're going to get that foul before Wolford has a chance to put it up and in. That would have given 5-star the lead.
That's going to put him in the bonus, though, I believe. I believe this is a 1-and-1. No, they're giving him 2 shots.
First one's no good. This next one could tie the game at 63. Safe to say this is an important free throw here.
5-star's up 1. I believe 5-star's up 1.
5-star is up 1. Excuse me, viewers. Got my scores mixed up. Again, you're surrounded by all this intensity. You
right,
tend
I'm
to
losing track. That's fair.
Lose track of the numbers at hand. So good news for those 5-star fans out there. And even better news for Wilfred. 0 for 2 at the line, but they will maintain the lead, 63-62. Again, here at AZ Compass, I'll have to justify myself. I'm looking at Dragons up there. However, neither team on the court today is represented by a Dragon.
The Dragon, it throws me off. This one over here, just home and guest. It's also tough to see for me. I got that shot clock in the way of that right side. I can't see the visitor score on this scoreboard to our left.
Anyway, of course, 5-star with the 1-point lead and 40 seconds remaining in this ball game. Skyline Prep is going to have the basketball. And this is, to this point, the largest possession of this basketball game. Of course, they should still get another chance should something go awry here for Skyline. The Bengals are going to inbound from half court. It's Oba. Boba gonna get it into the backcourt. And it's gonna be brought across by Nehemiah Allen. Allen up there being guarded by, I believe that's Keyshawn Ross Jr. Back into the game for these final possessions here. And a drive and a bucket, a critical bucket for Josh Powell. Coach Diaz telling his defense to get back down the floor. Here's Keyshawn Ross. 14 seconds to go in this game. 5 Stars got to make a play. Channing K drives. Shot is no good. Rebound Nassar. Corner for Van Horn. In and out, but an offensive rebound, and it's going to be ripped away. And a jump ball, I believe, is going to leave the ball in the hands of 5 Star Academy, and it will with 1.5 seconds left.
Oh, my goodness.
Jason Van Horn will take the timeout and talk to his squad. We've got a 1-point game. So that means it is more than likely the game will be decided here on this next possession.
Oh, my goodness. They got 1.5 on the clock, 1-point game. They're trying to figure out whose ball it is on the jump ball. And Skyline claiming it's theirs. Officials say otherwise. But with 1.5, you don't have time to get an inbound play in. You don't need a 3. If you have a chance to get a quick tip in for 2, go ahead and go for it.
You are going to have to catch and shoot. I mean, that is what this opportunity presents. Catch and shoot, nothing else.
This game, you got to be smart if you're Skyline and not foul. Make them hit the buzzer beater. Don't even give them the opportunity to take it to the line for the win. This is going to be it right here.
64 to 63 in a second on the clock. 1.5 to be exact, so they do have time per the rule book to get a shot up. The question is, do they have enough time to do it flawlessly? Jason Van Horn Jr., who has been excellent tonight for 5 Star Academy, is going to inbound the basketball. 1.5 to go.
Here we go.
They get it in. It bounces away. I believe it was touched by a Bengal player, and that's what, nope, they're going to say it went out of bounds off of 5 Star Academy. And that will all but seal their fate with now only 1 second even to go here on the game clock. And now the official's going to converse once again.
Are they calling a jump? What are they going to call here?
They're instructing the clock to reset the game clock to 1.5 seconds.
Is that what they're trying to say?
Which is exactly what it was at prior to the inbounds play.
If the ball got touched, they have to take more time off. They took a whole second.
So they removed 0.5 seconds off the clock.
Whose ball is who's getting the ball though?
And I believe the last time I was told, or at least it's going with Skyline.
It looks like it's going to go with Skyline.
And now you got a couple of 5 Star players having a conversation with that official over there.
You just can't give them. Oh, they moved it back to 1.5, I guess. Okay.
So now there will be 1.5 seconds on the clock. But again, if it's Skyline basketball, I mean, that makes it really difficult in any way.
You just can't let them get the ball in. They have a timeout, so you really have to play 2 perfect defensive inbounds here. They're going just full quarter. They're just going to go for a football pass here, pretty much.
I don't blame them. Just get the ball down to that end of the court. As soon as it's touched, the game's over. And that's going to do it.
Was there time on the clock?
That's what 5 Star is going to try to say. And it looks like they're going to give it to him. Yes, they will. The other official is going to come in and say that there are 0.5 seconds on the clock.
0.5 and 5 Star has a chance. You don't have, I mean, it's 0.3 seconds is the amount of time it takes to put a shot up. So technically, you have a chance here. You've got to just get it in, and you got to put it up and in basically immediately. Here we go. called
The final
timeout.
play of this game will be upon us here after this last conversation. Again, I think Jason Van Horn wants one last second to work up a play. Again, his team is going to have 0.5 seconds to get a shot off and up.
It's like the next team, it's Bella Vista just showing up here. They're in for a treat for this final half of a second. You cannot foul if you're Skyline. You just gotta play the best defense you can and say a prayer that you make a stop. I wasn't a fan of that last inbound play with 1.5 to go for 5-star. They didn't have anybody cutting out. Everyone was bunched up in the paint. You have to have at least 1 or 2 guys breaking out wide, get a quick shot off from the corner for 3, or a long 2 or a mid-range or anything.
Right, again, I'm incredibly surprised that somehow the ball was able to go back in the hands of Skyline there without any time being taken off the clock from that initial inbound play.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. I'm really not totally sure what happened from this angle.
0.5 seconds to go. This is going to be it. Van Horn's going to lob to the basket. It's bobbled, and that's going to do it. They couldn't get it in to a cutting Adrian Marcus. And the final score here today, 64 for Skyline, 63 for 5-Star Academy. What a game, Maddox.
What a first game of the tournament for us, Jacob. It was phenomenal. And that one went down, like we said, it went down to the last second, literally to the last half a second. I mean, back and forth, we saw some crazy plays. We saw some nice highlight reel dunks, a lot of back and forth threes. That was a fun one to start. We should have a good one coming up next year.
And we'll be with you in just a moment for our next matchup here from the Compass Hoops Classic. I'm Jacob Seaver with Maddox Martin. Thank you so much for joining us.